thing about me is like throughout my academic life, I've kind of been allowing pop culture to kind of dictate my life. So like for example, I like initially I didn't want to take architecture. I didn't really know what I wanted yet for college, but I think in 20 I forgot what year it was, 2015, 2014, that time. Um that was when Whiplash came out, and I like fell in love with that movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do with my life. Like I want to take up music in college. And like at that time I was doing like I was having such a hard time with bio classes, and I was like nearly flunking math in like my grades weren't that good in math, and I was like, okay, yeah, I really want to take up I want to take this up because Whiplash the movie like it really inspired me, and I was like, yeah, this is something I really want to do. um and then come third year naman, I started watching Breaking Bad, and that's stuff to do with chemistry naman, like completely different from music. Um so yeah, like the thing about Breaking Bad is that I was taking up chemistry in high school because the way science classes work in Ateneo is first year it's general science, second year it's bio, third year chemistry, and then fourth year it's physics. So third year I was doing really really well in chemistry, and yeah, just coincided that um yeah, I was watching Breaking Bad, and if for those who are unfamiliar with Breaking Bad, it has a lot to do with chemistry. It's about a chemistry professor, and that's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like that's something I'm gonna do. Like obviously I'm not gonna make drugs, but like this is something that's really interesting to me, and I think I can apply this stuff like that. Um, and then yeah, architecture kind of came the same way. In terms of the pop culture influence that I got, it was from two things. The first one was How I Met Your Mother, and the second one was 500 Days of Summer. So if you know
Oh,
the
okay.
two protagonists of those two movies, they're
Oh,
both
sweet.
architects. And
Mm.
yeah, during that time, like I was really young in high school, I was just like, I was picturing myself as this hopeless romantic guy, and I was like, oh my gosh, architecture, it's such a hopeless romantic course, and it's so, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make a building, I'm gonna make a building for the person I'm gonna love in the future, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, naturally, it came to a point where I was like, yeah, okay, architecture is gonna be the course that I choose because of that. Like, I had, I don't know, I had some trouble in terms of really figuring out what I really wanted. But because those two forms of media, like that movie and that show, came at that later part of my life, I was like, that was like the strongest sense of this is what you're gonna do, since those were the closest to when I was gonna take the OPCAT and then when I was gonna take the asset. So yeah, I chose architecture in UP, but actually the course that I passed in UP was not architecture initially. It was actually applied physics. So I was like, oh okay,
Mm.
I guess this is the course I was given, and I really wanted to go to UP anyway. So I was like, okay, I'll settle for this. But luckily there was an opening in architecture, and through a process of interviews and stuff, I was fortunate enough to obtain a slot there in the College of Architecture. So yeah, that's to sum it all up. It's really just, it was kind of impulsive. Um, I never, like, in terms of my skill set, I guess I was pretty good at geometry in high school, and physics in fourth year as well. So it kind of like um in a sense that also drove me to choose architecture a bit, because I knew there was a lot of that involved in the course. So yeah, but it was mainly like, honest to God, like just the fact that How I Met Your Mother and 500 Days of Summer had these two architects um
Mm.
in them, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's how I want to live my life. But those are fiction, and that's not actually how it works in real life. And
True.
yeah, I'll get to the ins and outs of architecture later on. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the reason why I chose architecture.
It's like
It's
the
Ramon's favorite movie.
expectations. Yeah.
And
When you
my
said
favorite
it's not
show.
like real
Pia
life,
knows that.
it's
How I
not
Met
like
Your
real
Mother's
life,
right.
you were
Yeah,
like,
it's like
ano,
you're like a classic schmoes.
yeah.
Classic schmo
When you said it
movie.
wasn't like real life, it reminded me of like the expectations versus reality scene in 500
Exactly.
Days. Nga. Yeah,
Yeah, if you
but
put me
it's pretty
side by
cool.
side, like what I thought Archie was
Mm,
gonna be and what it actually is, that's kind of
yeah.
drastic. Like same like just like in the movie. So
Mm.